So I was
same theme
called in for offering some medical services to Gurudev. And all of us know that one of the processes for good health is to take enemas, right? I think some of you may have taken enemas yourself also, right? So we were at Kerala. This was
for 1 month.
For 1 month, we were offering some.
I think it was 2002
cleansing.
when we did the Mahaprakash drama that time.
Yeah, we involved in some cleansing procedures for Maharaj. And of course, we went into the bathroom, and I was supposed to administer that enema to him, which I did. What is necessary. So while the enema fluid goes into your system, right? Then it takes time for the whole stuff to take place and whatever has to go on with the body, and then after some time, then you have to clear your stuff up, right? So even during that time, which is not a long time, but what a time is there, he was very keen that there should be kirtan going on, right? So he was kirtan, and like lecture was going on, and so he wanted that even during the time when that time is spent in bodily cleansing, it should not get him so involved with it is his body, but he wanted to keep himself brightened up and illuminated by his Gurudev's words. And after some time, when I went inside, Maharaj, the lecture had stopped, Maharaj was chanting on his fingers with such rapt attention, deep absorption. So even in a place like that, right, hearing Gurudev's words, and there's no feedback in that place, right? But he was chanting on his fingers, was in deep meditation. So I was amazed at how would somebody be, in a washroom and be absorbed in Harinam. So it was a private thing. He was not expecting me to be there, but I saw. So I could see that he's so it's almost mystical for me that he was chanting with such deep absorption. And then, of course, Maharaj has, as he said, the knack of making things very light sometimes. When he wants to make it very light, he can make things light, and he wants to make it very grave. I can tell you honestly, when Maharaj wants to make things grave and serious, it is like, Guru Maharaj, when the Lord entered his body, the earth went down, right? The weight of the universe was in Guru Maharaj's body. So if Maharaj has decided to make something, not decided in the sense, if something is worthy of being serious of, there is no question of anyone ever even misunderstanding the atmosphere. It is like heavier than the universe practically. But this time he wanted to make it light. So Maharaj said, chuckling first. He said, so I was just like getting, what am I going to say now? So he said, Dwarkadhish, do you know who is the consort of enema? So it was a baffling question. So who's the consort of, so he said, the consort of enema is enemy. So I said, enemy. So I said, okay, I caught it. I tried to catch the joke, So I said, Maharaj, yes, enemy. And so I said, Maharaj, who's enemy? So you can tell. So I said, Maharaj, enemy, yes, it is enemy. The enemy means the enemy of your disease. So this consort, if you take charge of, it will drive away your disease from your body. And we both started just laughing and chuckling over there. So yeah, Maharaj has this very special thing. I remember another medical pastime. As I said, during this time in Kerala, we were offering him various juices. It was what is called as, now it's popular. At that time, it was just new in the world. Among naturopaths, it's called as juice fasting. It is not fasting alone, but it's juice fasting. It means you prepare various types of juices, vegetable juices, fruit juices, and allow the body to get cleansed of all the stuff inside. So, and I was doing a lot of reading that time, and I was trying to figure out what are the best thing we can offer to Maharaj so that he can build up his body again, strong, vibrant, and enjoy good health. And then, of course, through that health, serve Prabhupada for a long time. So I figured out that one of the special things which are available in the world which can help is something called as a royal jelly. So for some of you may know this, royal jelly is coming from the bees, right? The bees are the honeybees. They are called drones. They are called worker bees. The drones, they go around and they go into all the flowering areas or gardens, and they pick up this honey and they bring it. And a very special part of that honey is extracted, and that honey is fed to a very special bee called as the queen bee. And the honey which she produces out of that is called as royal jelly, right? So that royal jelly is like the essence of the entire honey process. And the royal jelly is so special that when the honeybee actually eats that a drone has a life of something like few weeks, but when the royal jelly is fed to the queen bee, then she actually lives for about 5-6 years, and she produces generations and generations of drones. So I said, Maharaj, we are giving this to you so you can have a long. So Maharaj said, if I take this, I'll become like the queen bee, have a long life. So I said, Maharaj, yes, you'll have a long life. And then he said, how amazing it is. Maharaj just became a little more reflective. How amazing it is that this small honeybee, we don't have the honeybee, how small they are, but they have such an organized, intelligent process by which they know exactly to go to which flowers, they know exactly to pick up the honey from those flowers, to bring it back, assimilate it, and make those hexagonal structures, which you call as the beehive, which are geometrically so perfect, right? I mean, it's like someone has drawn a line of 6 of hexagon and stored within them through waxy substances which are stuck to the wall. And then they all know that they're supposed to not be eating that themselves, but manufacturing from that this royal jelly, which is like general honey and royal jelly, and give it to the queen bee. And they, all of them are subservient to the queen bee. They are like, servants to the queen bee. So Maharaj became reflecting and said, this is so wonderful to see that this is called as perfect varnashram. Even the honey bee, the beehive also shows a perfect varnashram of how everyone is doing their work and ultimately serving the highest authority, which is the queen bee, right? And so then he asked this question. He said, I think I asked the question, where does this intelligence come from? I think I asked the question, yes. But how does intelligence come from such a, I cannot think of it medically that the small brain within the head of the honeybee has got such intelligence. He said, not from the brain. He said, that's come from the Paramatma. It comes from the Paramatma, because the Paramatma gives the honeybee that intuitive knowledge of where it's supposed to go and what it's supposed to do. So I became like, wow, this is a great answer. And how, Maharaj is completely in touch with the super soul, and he understands these things so beautifully. And it made me understand, yes, super soul is the one which gives what we call as intuition. So intuitions, we say about intuition, I said, what is intuition actually? Till this point of time, I thought intuition is something which comes from some eureka in the brain. Some eureka takes place. Oh, yeah, I know how to do it. Yeah, I know. But intuition is something which, if all of us have ever had an experience of intuition, that is not our creation. Intuition is coming from the Lord in the heart, right? Who gives you, as Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam, right? That from me, mata smriti jnanam apohanam. So from me comes intelligence. So even the honeybee gets intelligence from there, and maybe all of us also understand how we get intelligence on various things in that way.
And that forest fire was there.
Oh yeah, and then at the same time, during the same era, when we were serving him in Kerala, so I was supposed to give some herbs which were by nature hot, right? So some are cooling substances, some are heating substances. So all sorts of mixtures of things were going on. So I gave him a herb which was like real hot, and Maharaj, his body is so delicate in one sense. He's tough. Maharaj is, to tell you honestly, what I have seen as a doctor is that Maharaj's body is actually so tough. He's really tough. He's a tough man, but yet he is like very, very delicate also. It is like a combination of, which I don't understand sometimes, how his body reacts to various things. He's tough on one side and can be very delicate, very soft, right? So we know how strong he has been through journey home and during the 7 days. I gave him this herb to swallow, and he put that in his mouth. It was in a decoction form, and it practically burned his throat. And I was like, and Maharaj put it in his throat, and he just, tears started flowing from his eyes. Like when you eat chili, what happens? We just start watering our eyes takes place. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing to Maharaj? I was feeling pretty horrible about it, but that was the prescription. That was the prescription of the naturopath which we were following. And he had said we should give this. And so I didn't want to change the prescription. I was just administering what was supposed to be there in the work manual. And Maharaj just closed his eyes, deep, cleansed, his throat is burning. And I was feeling very sad. I was feeling very horrible about the whole experience of Maharaj. Maharaj opened his eyes. He said, Krishna is so wonderful. Krishna is so powerful. And I didn't know what to expect, what Maharaj will say. Maybe he'll say, Dwarkadhish, why are you giving me such stuff? This, I don't know what he would say that time. Krishna is so wonderful. He said, for us, we're going to take a small piece of some hot herb, may burn our throat, but Krishna swallowed an entire huge forest fire and nothing happened to him, right? We know the past time when after Kaliya Daman was over, the devotees, the Brajvasis slept on the bank of the Yamuna, and Kamsa sent this big demon to put the thing on fire. So I could see, and all of us can see, and we should see very, very clearly over here that there is, when we say Pratikshanasva Dhanalo Lupasya Vande Gurusi Charanarabindam, right? We always sing this every day in our Guru Stakam prayers. So for a pure devotee, there is never a thing like separation. For us, it is rare to even get united with Krishna. Even during Harinam or during Japa, during Katha, we are like spaced out and our mind is going a million places, right? But for a pure Vaishnava, the union between the Lord and the pure devotee is so real and so eternally always there that in whatever what situation a pure devotee is, for him, his remembrance of the Lord is always an established fact. And we can never ever put a pure devotee in a situation where he forgets his Lord. So there it is an example of a jelly, royal jelly, something as significant as like honey, and he connects it to Krishna, or something like a hot herb, he connects it to Krishna. So that's so beautiful to see that a pure devotee is always Krishna conscious.
Regarding the same connection, I just want to tell a point before I tell you about the treadmill thing. You can say it. No, but what basically all the devotees whom you must have invited, what we are all just narrating is mainly just a collection of what we have learned by observing Maharaj, by hearing from him, and just by being with him and interacting with him on different projects, or just being around. Since we have been hanging around for some time, as you say, we actually used to just hang around Maharaj. And subtly, whatever we could understand, whatever we could learn and grasp, this is just what we are able to. He's such a magnetic person that we are misers, that we could not even gather enough. But of whatever little we gathered, that is what we wanted to share of the understanding. Because who can say that they can understand a pure devotee? Nobody can understand him. But whatever small understanding is there, that mainly we saw about his what type of leadership he had. As they say, technically there are two types of leaders. One is performance based leader and one is quality based leaders, right? Those who perform things, they take up projects, they are like big book distributors or big temple managers, or they can those who give results of projects. So those type of people become leaders. There's another who are quality based leaders, that they are like, you're not done MBA or you're not done IIT or anything, but just the inner qualities which you have. So many times you'll hear in lecture Maharaj says that actually I don't know much, I'm not so much educated, I'm a school dropout, or whatever way Maharaj says. But we can understand that how Maharaj is so deep in the science of, whether you call it human psychology or management principles or whatever you would call in the whole journey. So the way Maharaj has just brought about this Radha Gopinath temple, how it has come about, and the devotees, how he has nurtured them, is just so miraculous. Every devotee would love to talk about it, that we talk about devotee care, that how to take care of devotee care. Now they have like systems of devotee care, and they will have committees and subcommittees and all. But actually, just Maharaj just did it in a very spontaneous way, unplanned way or anything, but just because he had that genuine love and concern, every project in under Maharaj's, whichever temples are under Maharaj's care, that has come about. And all the devotees, like whether you call Radheshyam Prabhu or Gauranga Prabhu or whoever is there, they all are subconsciously just following in the footsteps of what they have unconsciously absorbed. As we say, osmosis, the all of us who have studied science as children, we know osmosis, that just by being around, some things just stick on and it gets into you. So how he systematically, in one sense, he just made this preaching programs, the counselor system, whether you call, or the marriage board you call, yatras you say, or GEV itself right now, it's all just become very structured now. But initially, he just kept doing small, small programs. As Prabhuji said, in his room, he would just invite, okay, whoever is free, please come down for programs. So literally, we have given sleepless nights to all our parents because they used to think these children have gone mad. They just, they can't understand what do you do in that small room in the temple with the same person, every day. If you want, if there's some variety is another thing. He takes you to the same yatra. Where are you going this year? Vrindavan. Where are you going this year? Mayapur. Huh? Next year, where are you going? Jagannath Puri. Fourth year, where are you going? Vrindavan again. Next, again Mayapur. Aren't there, isn't there any fourth or fifth place you all can go to? Same place, same person, same pastimes he will tell. It's not, in Vrindavan, he is going to talk about Mount Everest. He's going to talk about Govardhan Mountain only, right? बोले आप लोगों को कंटाला नहीं आता है, means aren't you all bored? You should tell your Swami, take us to Nainital, Darjeeling, these some nice places. Some variety would be there, but they just couldn't fathom that how Maharaj could year after year, right? How many yatras have been there, and how many yatras we all have attended. N number of times we must have gone done Govardhan Parikrama, Vrindavan Yatra, and we know, okay, today is Diwali night and Maharaj is going to say the Diwali pastime. That how, Damodar Leela he will say. But still it is in such a mesmerizing way. So again, as we know, it is not the katha. It is the spiritual energy which Maharaj himself, from him, he wants to just put it into everybody else, right? We all feel surcharged after we come back from yatra. How is that? Because of the energy puts. So that's how we started doing small programs. Initially used to do, and he gave time. He invested time in some families. He invested time in Mahaprabhu's life, in Krishna Chandra Prabhu's life, in Srinathji Prabhu's life, in Sahadev Prabhu's life, Radhakrishna Prabhu's life. How much time he gave, okay, these have become the pillars of our temple today. It's not that, just by their money or their skills that they have become the pillars. It is because of the spiritual energy which Maharaj invested, and the whole families have come. Actually, there are whole dynasty. Maharaj always, when he refers to the senior devotees, he says, as a dynasty of devotees. They are devotees, their children, now their grandchildren. Everybody in their own way is showing their commitment to Srila Prabhupada's movement. How is it, that it is percolating so much? Because, a big chunk was given to the main tree trunk, and that nourishes all the branches and the, twigs and everything. Even in the yatras, he just made it so like fun filled, and the bonding that took place, the intermingling between devotees. Many of us, like you all are staying in Bangalore, we are staying in Bombay, there are people in Kolhapur, people staying in US and Timbuktu, wherever. But everybody converges during yatra. And it is just enough for us to know, okay, you are chanting Hare Krishna, I am chanting Hare Krishna, you love Radhanath Swami, we love Radhanath Swami. And how we all have landed up bonding. Did we ever realize, how that bonding is taking place? It is just because it's a vision, like Maharaj had to bring about such opportunities where devotees can come together, interact and develop bonds. So that's how today we feel our family environment, isn't it? We don't feel, oh, you all are Bangalore devotees. We are all one. And that, even once we just went to Sudhir Gopal Prabhu's house, and we remember when Kumari Daya said, Sudhir Gopal Prabhu is coordinating this program. I said, oh, wow. Again, we'll be able to do. So there is just, what a wonderful vision of Maharaj. Even if you see the marriage board, which Maharaj has made about, to create marriages between sincere boys and girls. What is it? It is simply a facility to stabilize the ashrams. We know, that in Krishna consciousness, if we have to get fixed up, right? Without getting the base of an ashram, we cannot become stable. Otherwise, if there are only young boys and young girls just hanging around in the temple, there will be all mishaps like they take place in the material world. This one is attracted to that one and that one. in a very unhealthy way, relationships would take place. So again, that was Maharaj's vision to formalize that and give that type of structure to stabilize. So, you know, now we can understand how Maharaj must have thought and what he must have done. But at that time, we were just flowing with the current, absolutely just flowing, flowing, flowing. And this again, as we said, no, that whenever devotees meet, we could also be doing prajalpa. But by his example and by what we saw him do, we land up also when we meet each other. That's what we do, right? Many of us travel and preach. We go to different places for preaching. And in a day, you know, Venkat Govind Prabhu arranges all programs when we come to Bangalore. 4-5 programs in a day, you know, our Gopinath Pran Prabhu. We have days of discussion, hours of discussion. How those 2 days we will spend. Morning we'll have breakfast here. And sometimes Prabhuji and myself, when we are coming back in the flight, we are wondering, how did we land up becoming like this, you know? Just meeting people. But subconsciously, we are just following the footsteps of Maharaj. Maharaj used to do that. When he would, 2 days, he would say, okay, I'm coming to Meera Road. I want to meet as many devotees as possible. So he would like visit 13 houses in 1 day sometimes. Or in 2 days, 13 homes he will go and meet. He'll have prasad here and he will talk to these people and I'll have fruits over here and juice over here. So again, as we are saying, you know, that everything has just by observing Maharaj, we could have learned much more, but whatever little bit we can, that's how Maharaj has established and taught everybody. He did not have to tell, okay, now chant 16 rounds, follow 4 regulative principles, preach in this way, distribute books in this way, be Krishna conscious like this. When you see a river, you should remember this. When you see, you know, a deity, you should remember this. But it just by being with him and seeing. So again, coming to that pastime which Prabhuji would like to narrate about the treadmill, you know, this forest fire thing, even whether you see a medicine or you are doing enema, whatever, how to connect Krishna in a most obvious way, that is what is Maharaj's specialty.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we're talking about the vision of a pure devotee. And Brahma Samhita says that Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva. A great soul is always connected with Sadaiva, always connected with Krishna. So this is a memorable thing. Some of you may have heard this. I may have some of the things I may have told before, but I think there's no harm in repeating if you've heard it before. So in the same very hospital which I'm sitting right now, Bhakti Vedanta, and on the first floor we have our cardiac, where Maharaj, since he is detached from, you know, all sorts of bodily situations, and yet because he knows his body is meant to be a vehicle for serving his Gurudev's mission, so he will sometimes tell me, Dwarkadhish, arrange a checkup for me, right? So Maharaj will be most happy to do that at our own hospital, right? So Maharaj came over, and then one thing he wanted to check up is his heart. So blood test and everything else was done, and then he was put on the treadmill, and we asked Maharaj to put all the electrodes, put all the wires, made him to hold the bar, and he put on the machine, and you know the machine, treadmill starts working, right? It goes like that, and Maharaj starts walking, and then walking with bigger leaps, and then as the machine grows faster, then you have to pace with even longer strides, right? So that's the speed are increasing, and I had my cardiologist friend next to me. His name also happened to be Venkat. He was also sitting next to me and said, I wanted to be sure that, you know, everything happens the way it should happen. So as the machine started getting speed, it was 6 minutes, and Maharaj was like very comfortable, just walking. You know, Maharaj is not a very tall person. He's, I think, about 5'4" or something, right? So maybe 5'5". So and 7 minutes, and then 8 minutes, and then 9 minutes. So by now the machine is like really, you know, fast. And Maharaj, from his whatever height his body has take much long strides. And then it is 10 minutes. The machine is like really going fast, right? And his Maharaj is like big strides, fast. And it was very obvious that the heart has got no problem. You can see that the heart is like, you know, the ECG tracing coming through was absolutely normal, as expected. There was, you know, beating of the heart was getting faster and faster, but there was no abnormal waves. There was no abnormal signals. So I said, I think, let's stop the machine, right? Because Maharaj was like sweating now, sweating. His shawl was sweating, and he was sweating, and Maharaj just going so fast. And it's 11 minutes are there. I said, Maharaj, we should stop. I said, no. I said, let's go. You know, Maharaj has, and something unique about Maharaj, I'll tell you. Maharaj has this very unique quality of pushing himself to the limits of what he wants to do. He will not settle down for anything inferior or even mediocre or not even above mediocre, above average. He will do it to his max. It has to be the max. What is the best or what is the max? What is the highest? So it is just his quality of his consciousness that he wants to just do the very best. So when he is doing his treadmill, he wants to get the best value out of that. So it is 11 minutes, it is 12 minutes, right? And I'm feeling Maharaj will fall off the treadmill because he's like galloping. He's like galloping so fast. Cut. I said, Venkat, should we close it? And it was 13 minutes. And by now Maharaj the machine was like was roaringly fast, right? And then I decided, Maharaj, I think it's enough. I don't want to put Maharaj into trouble, and suppose he falls off and trips from the machine, it will be disaster, right? And I stopped. And the machine gradually came to a halt. And more than Maharaj, I was relieved that, the test is over, because handling a patient like Maharaj is no ordinary thing. You should know that Maharaj is a high energy patient with a complete transcendental state of consciousness. So he doesn't behave like a normal patient, like a normal individual. He is just, everything he does is extraordinary. So then after some time I said, Maharaj, the ECG is fantastic, your heart is very strong, blood flow is great, there's no coronary blockage, nothing. So they said, Dwarka, what I was thinking during the treadmill, please tell me. They're expecting something would be like transcendentally, Maharaj, one would say, some wonderful thing would say, sir. So when he was walking, the treadmill was opposite a window, and from the window, Maharaj was seeing the temple across. Some of you probably know that our hospital is very close to, just opposite the next building practically is Radha Giridhari temple, right? Our ISKCON temple, Radha Giridhari ji, third temple of Bombay. So that window, you can see the temple is there, right? And Maharaj is walking in that way with that pace, and said, I was remembering the pastime of the Lord being chased by Kalayavan. In the rarest of my dreams, I could not imagine that somebody would think of that during a treadmill test. It's a mundane test. It's a bodily test. It's something which is like just for bodily health and coronary, coronary circulation. Where is Kalayavan? Where is Krishna? I mean, I could not even imagine, even in 100 years as a cardiologist or whatever, I could think of that pastime. But Maharaj was on the wheel and said, just like, Kalayavan is running fast, but yet he was like almost in the same place. He was not able to catch up with Krishna. So I was trying to run faster and faster, but trying to catch up with Krishna, right? That's the brilliance of Maharaj's consciousness. And that just, hearing all these things only makes us more endearing towards him, that how deeply is Maharaj always Krishna conscious.